Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. We are back today with my 4-week review of the LX100, the Panasonic LX100. Um, and so far it's been very, very favorable. I really like the little LX100 here. Um, as I'd mentioned in my initial impressions, it's a little bigger than your average pocket camera. It's not probably something you're going to want to fit into your pants pocket, but it fits quite nicely into a coat pocket, especially now. Right now it's winter, and this fits fine in my any of my winter coats pockets. Actually, haven't had any problems with that. Um, the image quality has been excellent so far. I know some people have said that the lens can be a little bit prone to flare shooting into the sun. Can't say I've actually really been out shooting into the sun too much, simply because of the weather. But so far, I haven't really noticed any issues at all with the lens, other than it's very nice. The f1.7 and a f2.8 is, it's a very fast lens for a zoom. The extra 5 millimeters over, for instance, the Panasonic 12 to 35 f2.8 micro four thirds lens, the interchangeable lens, is really nice. It's nice to have just that little bit of extra reach, and the extra speed is really nice. The f1.7 is really nice. I really like the ability to set the ring here. You have a dial that you can manually set your aperture, but below that you also have a ring which can be set as a focusing ring, but it can also be set, we'll see if we can show you that there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video, but it gives you the ability to zoom in increments, rather than using this up here, which creeps it out at could be 58, could be 65, whatever. This will zoom it for you in like 24, 28, 35, 50, 70, and 75. So it gives you all of your standard settings, or your standard equivalents in fixed lenses if you're talking primes, so that you don't have to be nitpicking trying to get it right at that number. By using that zoom, it quickly goes to the next setting for you on this ring, which is really nice. I like that. I really like the manual aperture ring. It's very nice. Getting more and more liking having the manual settings available and manual dials back on a camera. Likewise, we have the manual dial up here to be able to set our shutter speed. It's very nice. Tactile feels nice on everything really on here. Let's see what else we have. We have the exposure compensation settings. I don't use that a lot, so that's probably basically been the least used thing on here. I'm finding the EVF to be very nice. It's not the top of the line EVF. It's probably not quite as good as, say, the GH4, but it's still very high resolution EVF. But it does things a little differently on how it does its scanning and refresh rate. So it's not quite as good, I think, as the GH4 in that sense. However, I haven't really noticed that to be a negative in everyday use. I have no complaints with it. The LCD screen's very nice, but following that up, that is one of my nitpicks that I mentioned in the initial impressions. I wish it was tap and shoot. Wish it was a touch screen. I think all cameras should be that way nowadays. For those of you that say that's not an issue for you, I challenge you to use a camera that has that for a while and then come away from it, and I think you'll find that you're missing it. It's such a great thing to be able to tap for your focus point, to be able to tap and shoot, and likewise, I wish the screen moved, because I'm so used to having a movable screen, both for filming or even for shooting. If you're standing here at waist level, and it allows you to be a little bit less noticeable, a little bit more blending into the situation. If you're taking shots and you can have the camera at waist level and the screen up and tap and shoot, rather than standing there going like this, looking at people, and you look very noticeable that way. So that's my two big things that I wish Panasonic had to put on the camera. Is the screen was movable and was a touchscreen. Pretty much one of my only nitpicks. It does bug me a bit because I use the LX100 for a lot for video now. It's a great video camera. It does 4K. The 4K is beautiful. The files are excellent. But like most pocket cameras, the door for the battery is down here, and it's also where your SD card goes. So I just turn the camera off so we can open that up and show you. But there's where the battery goes. That's the battery right there. But your SD card's in here too, which is standard for most smaller cameras. But when you put a tripod plate on there, it does make it so that you have to take the plate on and off if you want to get in and out of that SD card, get that SD card in and out, or switch the battery out, which like if you're using a GH4 or GH3, you've got that sitting up on a tripod, you're set up to shoot, you can swap out at least your SD card really quickly. And if memory serves, you can actually get, depending on how big your plate is and whatnot, you can actually get to your battery and swap it out without too much trouble, without removing the plate. Again, I'm not really going to say that's a big negative, because it's a small pocket camera and you're limited to what you can do with that. But yeah, other than that, so far, really, really pleased with the camera. Fit and finish, build quality, as I said in initial impressions, is excellent. Not letting me down at all. It just feels like a very finely made camera. The lens quality's been excellent. Autofocus is fast and quick. Video quality is excellent. Just everything that I'm used to from, say, using the GH3 or the GH4, especially with video, it's all pretty much here on the LX100. The LX100 doesn't have all the video features of those two, but it makes for a killer small video camera, and I'm really enjoying it for that. Also, great camera just to pick up and go, because that's a micro four thirds sensor in there, and you get great image quality out of it. Good enough for most applications. Certainly, I've done professional work with this now. I've done headshots. Done some team photos with for hockey for a team, and they're very happy with the results. I'm very happy with the results. So is it a D800 for resolution? No. Is it usable for most situations? Yeah. For most working pros, you could use the LX100 for a lot of situations, except those ones where you need super high resolution detail. But then there's a lot of DSLRs you wouldn't be using that for that either. So anyways, in a nutshell, 2-week review, 4-week review, very favorable for the LX100. I would highly recommend it if you're looking for this type of camera. There's some caveats to why you would want this type of camera. It's not the right camera for some people, or for a lot of people, but it certainly is for a lot of people, especially that are looking for a high-end compact camera that gives top image quality, top lens quality, top video quality. You can't really beat the LX100. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave them in the comments below. I'll see if I can get them answered for you. I'll give you some more ongoing videos on the LX100. Probably post some stuff that we've shot with it, both video and photos, and do some further tests. And we'll be back soon with some new videos, some new articles. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on in the world of photography, videography, and technology right here at artoftheimage.com. Thanks a lot, folks.